once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Belly of Tea. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, oh blow me bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore, and on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpoon and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not on reed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
All right. Hey. Welcome to Wednesday Night Pirating. We are ready for all the insanity that is about to happen, or at least we think we are, as we begin really a lot of newer type of things. There's new stories, new adventures to be had as our main crew sort of plays out what it looks like now after defeating or at least a version of the one known as Azrael. There has been a lot of changes within the world that our crew has come to because they went into the very center of all possibility and time in order to do this. And thusly, our crews have understood many things have changed, and some people that they left with are now considered traitors, and they are ready to ultimately return to the island. In the meantime, new people have arrived and made themselves very useful to the island of Darktow as well. So we are about to start as we find ourselves coming up on the first anniversary of Darktow's legal independence. Its alliances and those things, still a very young place, but one that is very interesting. So, with that, we are going to introduce a few hopefully fun, little things. First is I have put together a little bit of a skill tree for the island of Darktow. And so the way this will work is after successful arcs or missions, you essentially will get a experience point in order to put towards the skill tree in order to help things go further. In addition, there are units of treasure is what we're essentially call them, and those are more or less besides the currency of gold and whatever you might find, that would be a significant amount that could get something done on Darktow. So those can be spent like an experience point. Essentially, they can also be used in order to make alliances or further another group's opinion of you or whatever that would be. So it's the two major units. You didn't really find treasure where you went, so instead you'll just come back with the 1 XP from this crew returning. as it is. And the way this will work is there's only 1 XP for the group, and it's basically by a consensus that you'd come to where you want to put it. And I'd say this is going to be sort of a skill tree in progress as we work on it a little bit. But I have essentially 10 categories that you can up the island in. They're fairly self-explanatory. If you want more detail on a particular one, we can kind of talk about it. And I'll obviously provide you some of the stuff as I just get it in a little bit more of a aesthetically pleasing format. But the first is navigation. Then there's combat, then looting, then leadership, stealth, survival, blacksmithing, navigation, alchemy, and sailing.
Can you just like toss those in general chat so I can look at them
again? Yeah.
Thanks.
Totally down with that.
So, like, I mean, I don't want to say those things sound like, obviously, is this like for the general like fleet of the like, let's say we put an XP in sailing, right? Does this affect all boats in that come out of Dalto? Okay.
Yes, this is sailing for Darkto, and since you at different times are going to sail from Darkto, you would get benefits of that.
Okay.
Right. There are some benefits that would come to you, but they're more in just how generally Darkto is doing. So, sort of representing how Darkto is now essentially your base, and any ship you're on, Darkto is essentially probably more important than that to your characters, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Minus the Wild Bloom. That one's always the most important.
Right. Yeah, let me get this for you. I'll get it in an easy way because I'm not ready to share.
Yeah.
But yeah. And these are also sort of directions the island can go as well. Go. Put it to share. Say. The mid game. All right. Any particular ones that you'd like to hear about in particular?
Blacksmithing, just because that's kind of my shtick.
Yeah. Ultimately, that essentially represents Darkto's ability to make weapons, both defensive and offensive. How they can upkeep their ship, well, not upkeep the ships, but outfit their ships with such things. Essentially. So there's an amount of ships, how heavily armored, as it would go up in levels. There's like specifically like like levels in which, hey, everyone essentially has a +1 weapon or whatever. Like it becomes like more of that kind of crazy things, though. That likely is like more like a blacksmithing and alchemy kind of skill tree unification from the two, like blacksmithing 5, alchemy 5, those types of things.
Yeah.
A little bit, but it sort of represents that. And so there are some, and some of these are on purpose going to be hidden. And so there may be like, there will be things where I'd be like, hey, you have this many rank in these two kind of secret
It
level
unlocks
unlocks.
this one, yeah.
Yeah. It was your secret skill, basically,
Yeah.
that you've unlocked here.
I'm here for it. That sounds dope.
We know you're here for a lit RPG guy.
And I'm really here for feedback on this. If there's some things that we can kind of move through, I want to make sure it fits for everybody.
No, this is cool. I like
If
it.
you've got 10 levels of it, though, I think we might need to. How much XP we get might have to be more than just a singular.
Yeah, I would say this is what I'll say for that.
Yeah.
I feel like the Water Bloom became amazing a little too quickly.
Oh,
So
that's fair.
So I'm gonna start a little
Slower, yeah.
and then we're gonna kind of. And there may be other things because right, this isn't a standard computerized
Yeah.
RPG, which means there are things that maybe makes this go quicker. And I think I want to make the base level certain things so that the
Yeah.
creativity can function. Oh, I should say this: when we do downtime, I'm going to start to ask you what your one downtime action is, and you can use your action as an experience thing as a person to further
Okay.
one of these things.
Okay.
So that is how it works as well. So instead of like doing like instead of like, hey, I've learned a proficiency from my character, or I
Yeah.
go gambling and cajoling or whatever that may be, it could be like, oh, I want to kind of move this direction here.
I like it. But yeah, we don't need level 7 Kaldrum again on every ship.
Right. And then I'm actually going to add one I meant to go through, and that's actually I'm going to say exactly what we kind of were thinking of, which is the spy network.
Mhm.
Just put that as number 10.
Okay. So like I said, some of these themes seem self-explanatory, but leadership, right? Is this like how we deal with like other nations and stuff like that? Because I know you said like that also is kind of like a separate thing, right? Like we could put like there's other ways to further the way that other nations or groups look at us, but is that really all that entails in terms of
leadership is internally to Darktow.
Oh, okay.
For the most part, it is since depending on sorry, music was like being funky with me. Depending on what character is using it necessarily and what their rank is, it is a good indicator of what types of things you could potentially ask for, how well that might translate. So to give an example, if we've got Mal 6 months journey out and he gets word back to Darktow about something, your leadership might have to that trait or those points in that would have to do with how things are going potentially. Right, how well that is. Any thoughts there, Will? So you're shaking your head.
I'm laughing at some of the comments. I think it's a cool idea. I can't wait to see how it grows.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so it would be the leadership and and especially if there's talks of that other pirate island and getting that going, leadership would have to do with some of those things. It might come in to be a bonus should like you find yourselves or any of the crews find themselves in a place where they're very weak and there's a more powerful pirate crew that's technically in Darktow. Are they going to take you out in position, or are they going to help you? A role might benefit from leadership, and those types of deals. So that does have some value there. And part of it is also because I felt when I was asking downtime, a lot of our stuff was coming to a lot of these categories. I thought it might be a better way to represent them.
Right.
Survival
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
is that like Outlander survival, like being able to gather materials for Dark Toe type thing, or
Yeah, generally it is your ability to the island's ability, or the people on the island's ability, I should say, to survive in the harsher environments, the longer voyage at seas, the higher survival, the longer they'll go, and the less casualties will come back due to environmental issues. If there's different storms that may come in and out, that will have that as well.
These are not just-
If you're being raided and there's a water or element shortage, survival would matter,
Okay.
or whatever. These are those things that would come up to it.
Right. So this is outside the island, traveling, and onside the island, like hurricanes, and like you said, water shortages and things like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Honestly, some of these they just sound really useful in general. I'm kind of down for whatever. I mean, I think the things that would be immediately impactful, especially if we are going to go on a long voyage, right, would be the maybe survival, stealth, things like that. And how could you describe to me, Matt, how stealth would affect the island or the
Yes.
people on the island?
Absolutely. So stealth probably affects the island itself the least, but more of the people who are leaving the island and their ability to move in and out of where they need to go. Because Dark Toe, how you've set it up, isn't like a really legitimate nation.
Right.
Is legit in the sense that they go, but they're like, oh, we're still pirates. We're still doing pirate things. We just have more alliances. We have rules. We have places we won't pirate. More those types of deals, which means they're going to be breaking rules probably. And so, especially depending where leadership is at any given point. So the stealth is the ability for the people of Dark Toe, when they're mostly out and about, to sneak around, to carry out covert operations. That would go into some of the intelligence gathering, I think is why I didn't quite put that. So those two are probably a little linked. But yeah, their ability to be somewhere and not be noticed. Which is always good. Even potentially, I would say them being able to be on other ships that maybe aren't even Dark Toe, but be there, right?
would the alchemy part be like akin to like how many potions and like how quality potions like Dark Toe can like create and put out?
Yes. So that is the and that would be actually blacksmithing is a little like that as well. When characters are in Dark Toe, how like the type of weapons they get with blacksmithing, the type of potions and such that they might be able to procure, as well as what just might be standard on a Dark Toe ship. And that type of stuff. And also with alchemy, the ability to find a cure or a certain type of thing quickly. So let's say, hey, we need a substance that does X. Instead of potentially having to travel to 5 islands or 5 places to try to find that, Dark Toe might be able to have some of that all ready to go, and you could, with a high enough alchemy, could begin to figure that out or provide that. Some of the stuff you can offboard. Right. And there's also sort of ability to cure diseases and that type of stuff as well, poisons.
Okay. Sailing.
navigation could get us from point A to B faster.
Faster,
Could be
right? Yeah, I was
helpful.
gonna think that or sailing, right? That sailing. Those
Yeah.
things are,
Yeah,
are
what
survival,
would be the
right?
differences between navigation versus sailing?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that is. So navigation at its core is going to be things like maps themselves, sea chart interpretation, and the actual piloting of the ship. So generally speaking, the quality of your charts, the higher navigation, the more like you've unlocked a secret area almost, or like knowledge of islands, routes to said islands, possibly wind currents that not everyone knows about, or those routes to that, discovery of locations, like I said. So a lot more kind of the map discovery end of things. Sailing is the general competency that the people of Darktow have at being sailors and physically operating a ship, including like going in and out of oh my goodness, blockades and those types of things, and the raw skill of sailing the seas. Does that make sense, those two differences?
Yeah.
So to try to simplify it. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. One of my monitors went out. The navigation is knowing where to go. Sailing's the general ability for us to get there.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right.
Yes.
So how is everyone feeling? I mean, I know you're kind of, you're probably down for whatever, but what is there anything particular you're leaning towards?
I think there's value to all these. I think
I agree.
if we're focused on just staying alive, combat's super important. If we're focused on becoming getting up to speed as a trade nation as fast as possible, navigation, hell yes, sailing, hell yes, but also something like looting, because even just being able to squeeze one more copper piece out of every transaction would be tremendously useful. I think there's really not a wrong answer here. It's just where do we want to lean first.
Yeah.
Well,
looting does include negotiating with merchants.
Could and also I guess maybe what would even help our decision is figuring out what the next thing we're going to do. I think that's also a good place to start. Maybe that could help us decide what to put that in. So,
all right. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I think traditionally, I think it would be.
Because we're still here having the party, right? We're still like on Darktow.
I think I'm definitely cool with what we feel like we need to do now. My initial thought was starting to do it as y'all come back from a mission. Yeah, that way it's good to then make the narrative for how it happens as you come back.
Okay.
Like, hey, this is what we choose, and here's the narrative to get us there. Gotcha. So it's not just as ding ding.
Right. No, I understand for sure. Going into the menu.
yeah. But it's like about do think, and then we kind of go through something. However, for this, I totally understand. So I think if we want to do a little bit of narrative first and then talk through it, I think that's fair.
Okay. How's that?
I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. And then we will get that going. All right. In that case, I think what we're gonna do a little bit of some fun here. So those who play characters on the island currently, you can sort of set the scene that the other people are going to crash when they teleport over.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, of course, with a big celebration like that, like I think of like a lot of like big Caribbean celebrations, right? There's tons of music, bands, a lot of colors, a lot of great food, smells, but also like a combination of like different cultures as well. Because this is a port city that island that a lot of people come in and out of from different places. So maybe you even have like how like there's like the Chinese cultures get the dragons, but instead of the dragons, like the little dragon float, it's a dragon turtle. right? And so we have a dragon turtle float that people are like under, like with the drums, and
You mean
then like
They're not on top of it in the water because it's a dragon turtle floating.
I mean, they could do that too, right? There's more mechanical floats, right? But there's also like the traditional, like paper made, floats, right? And
Love
then
it.
things like, of course, fireworks and, just displaying all the new and inventions that we've had, just celebrating Darktoe and the people. Maybe like there's a create your own like a float ship competition, like who has the coolest float ship, like just things like that. I think maybe carnival kit for kids, all that kind of things. At least that's what I'm envisioning.
Okay, very cool. So you think this is? Do you then imagine it being in the daytime part of this as it's starting to get going?
Yeah, for sure, like daytime, but it like goes throughout the night for sure.
Yeah, I'd say like
Right.
daytime big carnival,
Right.
and then like nighttime it's Mardi Gras.
Right. Yeah. That's where you can show all the light shows and the
Yeah.
the things like that. So
I love it. I'm not going to ask this question now because I want you to have time to think about it. But think about the guests of honor that are going to be here that you've invited.
okay.
And this could be for Mal, for Thola as well. We'll just sort of have that kind of percolating if you haven't thought of it yet, if any. And it could just be, no, this is internal and screw all you other guys. That's fine too. But it's totally up to you. But it is a question. So, all right. So I love the idea of this day. So the sun rises on Darktoe, and so you imagine this is going to be a very like kind of, it's not really family. Well, I guess it could be family because pirates can be kids. So this is gonna be like Kitty. So this is like we say probably around 11 where things are going very like high velocity here. I like that. Carnival rides. And what do you think is one of the major things here?
I mean, obviously there has to be a food competition because Thola's involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some type of food competition. But no, I think better yet, a food eating competition, right? Like you have to have an eating competition.
Oh yeah.
Every good carnival has one of those.
Hot dog injuries? What is this?
Yes, hot dog injuries for sure.
Okay.
Hot dog injuries.
All right. So, like, I'm picturing. Tell me about what you think of this. We've got the kind of food eating competition getting ready to go. We've got like a pirate puppet play for the younger people to sort of watch going on. Possibly reenacting the battles to get Darktoe in the first place. Maybe
Yeah, I was gonna
some of
say
the
like a
more
little
famous
mini,
things of the Wild Bloom.
like a cannon shoot. Like you're trying to get the little cannon, play cannon, little foam cannons or something like that, right?
The
For the
cannon
kids.
shoots the flying ship from our cat.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
they kind of are going around on like string, almost on a mobile that spins. They're firing it out. I like it. So, I love how we set that up. Do that, and then
As far as guests of honor, I don't think this would be an opportunity to call all the captains home again, but I certainly would have invites. I think, considering we're establishing ourselves as sort of a trade hub, any ambassadors from the local area we could call in, or any traders, or any ships at sea. Like, this is effectively like an open port day, like when the Navy's like, "Hey, come check out our ships." I mean, it's a little level of paranoia to it, but like effectively an open harbor, sort of a open house sort of thing.
So, just to clarify, you said traders, not traders.
Well, the spelling is still up in the air at this point.
It's TR, then in parentheses, it's like the rest of each word.
okay. I love it. So one of the things that have come is an organization known as the Seven Merchants. and they are here for today, kind of a today only type of thing. Generally speaking, only one of the 7 merchant ships is any place in the world at any given time. And they are never at the same place. However, due to kind of the new nature and even what it sort of represents, this non-overarching government in this one place and everything that you've all put into this, they are giving their support, which also means a little bit of clout and maybe some jealousy and maybe some other complication that could come from this, but they definitely mean it as a show of respect and honor to the new way that Darktoe is going.
Cool. And if anyone's wondering, despite his best efforts, Mal is wearing the puppy shirt.
Is he wearing his fancy hat though?
Yes, he's got the fancy hat on. It's a sign of office, right?
Yeah. Making sure
that's
you're
what he
dressed as your
thinks.
puppet. Yeah. You came out and people started to modify the one puppet. They're just like trying to find like white leaves and things like put it for the puppy. The best that they can do. I absolutely love it. Yeah. I think there are some of the other stuff's going, I think, on because I imagine this is in the center and the major deal is the eating competition, but there are some other things going on. There's essentially a very, very kid-like game where children do have to run through a bunch of coats that have little candies and prizes in them and pickpockets, and there's mouse traps in them. So if they're not quick enough and nimble enough, they get their thing picked. So I think I love the idea of the games because Super Pirate Island are teaching kids to be pirates. And teaching the skills in a fun way, in a sense, like, hey, this is all fun. But this is also, as you get good with this every year, you will be better for Darktoe every year as well. And here's candy, if everyone's okay.
I'm 100% here for that.
Okay, so I think it is in the midst of this that we can start to set our scene a bit, and I would say that all this is pretty much about to begin. I think the first part of this was people arriving, looking at some of the merchant booths, in which y'all can do whatever you want. But then I think really Malanthola and Xenalor, you've made your way into it, so I think you're present to start the festivities off, or simply get it going. However you'd like to. But whatever you'd like to do before the teleportation arrives.
Oh, all right, we're good. Actually, would at all Mal be around at all, or would he be busy?
He certainly needs to circulate. All the planning and doing is already done. So this is the stand around and look pretty phase in his mind.
So Uthula comes up to you with Xanalor because we're preparing to make sure everything's good, and like, so how's your speech?
Why does it have to be a speech? Why is it always a speech? Can I just be like, eat something, drink something, pass out, see you tomorrow? Come on.
Because unfortunately, you're not too pretty just to smile and wave.
That is for damn sure. Although with this stupid shirt on, I don't know. I mean, what do you say in a moment like this? Like, I never thought we'd make it this far.
Well, I mean, sometimes we can be reminded of that and how growth and change can bring about good things.
That's actually not a bad point. I think looking at how well your temple has come along at this point, there's a whole lot of stuff that we've done that's been paying off, and there's a whole lot more to do.
And plus, look, Xanalor is still here. We don't shoot everyone at first that seems suspicious that comes on. We're more welcoming.
The staff did give me pause.
I'm still very grateful for you guys not shooting me.
At this point, you're a resident.
Cool. Cool.
So, we shall be expecting some visitors, I hear. So, special ones. Make sure to keep your your best foot forward, of course.
I mean, the 7 merchants, that's kind of a big deal, I guess.
Yes, that's true. We can have to see what they can do for the island, and of course what we could do for them.
Yeah. So if we can just avoid any assassinations, outright destruction of each other's ships, brawls that leave permanent marks, like if we can keep it like normal pirate party and not like crazy pirate party, we'll be fine.
Yes, very well. I would have to agree.
Zane Lord, no one's told you about the time that somebody got mad at somebody else in the tavern and lit the whole boat on fire, right?
No.
So there's a whole lot of old history here. Just it's all funny after everyone sobers up, but at the moment in time, it's kind of a mess. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're pretty easy to miss.
Okay. He's very socially awkward. He's just there because he's there.
All right, let me do the rounds
All right.
before Cass catches me.
All right. I think in the midst of this, as you are first are taking in the grounds, there is a thinning of air. The sudden waft of ozone and petrichor fills the nostrils, taking away the presently smelling foods and roast pigs. As whoom, you see Mal for the first time in almost a year, Caldrum and Simon, Thola, for the first time you see your father in quite a long time after rescuing him. Scene is yours.
Well, holy shit, where have you guys been?
Stuck.
Stuck? That's all you got?
speak.
Stuck?
We should go to the war room.
Okay, okay, sure. Was that good of a trip, huh?
So the first reaction when like Thola with her high perception feels this air and things changing, she's like, oh shit, like what is coming to interrupt this party? Like automatically gets out Findal, is already ready to fight. And like I could just imagine like when someone poofs that like the tip of Findal is like right under their chin. I'm going to roll for who? Oh, that's your
Question.
jaw.
Does Simon look the same as what they remember, or does
You
he
tell
look
me how
different?
Simon looks. Your character.
I mean, he looks he probably looks a little taller and a little skinnier even.
A little emaciated.
Hair
Yep.
different at all?
No, hair's the same.
Okay.
I mean, it's more of the fact that I'm no longer carrying around a giant axe.
See.
Would they have remembered him carrying around a giant axe or not?
Oh, for sure.
I
You had a giant.
I think at this point, I'm very good on everyone deciding how they'd like to do their characters in regards to a lot of this.
Do your fingertips crackle?
Well, yeah, it was just essentially to them. Do they remember me always being a monk, or do they remember that I was barbarian before?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Mal and Thola, what do you think?
That's a very interesting thing. Could definitely like since like his natural run literally just like kind of changed the fabric of what happened. I would say maybe everyone that was on the journey remembers that he was a barbarian, but us on the island always thought he was a monk.
Given the reaction from his own people, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Then let's go with that.
No.
There'll be time to skewer him later, Thola.
Let's go. We don't have time.
We could make this a new carnival trick.
Yeah. I think. Well, you don't think Cass was actually here?
I'm sure she's around here somewhere.
Okay. I think at some point, if it's not Cass, it would be somebody else. Was do Cass? It goes, Okay, all of you running to the worm in the middle of the festival is not the greatest thing. Do so casually. Make your way. Get a bloodied candied apple or something, but just kind of, casual.
Okay.
Yes.
Simon's gonna start zipping to and fro to all of the different food booths
Oh, yeah.
and just gathering like
One
a
speed.
huge, just a huge armloads full of food.
Yeah, so Stolla's doing like the old like smiling at the crowd, like making sure everyone's okay, but looks over to the group with like death eyes, and she's like scanning everyone. She's like, "Who the fuck is that guy that looks like he came out of the death abyss and with all his Raven Queen motifs? Why is everyone like, because we knew the monk of Simon to be strong, but he's weaker, so we're like, what, like." Have you not eaten a few days? Like, I leave you for a year and no one feeds you. Like, what? It's like all these things. She's like, and then her dad, and then like I said, how Royden came back with what did he get? He got paella before they left. So he comes with it, and she's like I'm good because like I'm already hangry. Like she's actually eating the paella. She goes to. She's like, this is terrible. Like she's so stressed right now. She's always trying to distress, and then you guys come here after a year of her like being calm and like just saying, hey, like they be the worst, or I'm not even gonna like worry about where they are, and now they come in the middle of the festival that they're trying to take care of, and so she's just stressed out, but trying to take care of the festival at the same time.
I'm gonna kind of trail up behind both Thola and Mal and be like, "Who are these people?"
It's a story. It doesn't have to be a long story, but this is part of a strike team we sent out like a long time ago, like a long time ago. They're friendly for the most part, but they've been missing for a rather long time.
Not
Sounds
only
like
the
Papa.
strike team, but they are the crew that we grew with to overtake this island.
Cool. The grip on his staff loosens.
Simon's gonna pop up right next to him and be like, "Who are you?"
Speaking of, Caldrum, what's with the little elfie dude?
We can make introductions on the ship,
Okay.
but for the time being, his name is Talon. Talon, this is Mal, Thola, and who's your new one, Mal?
This is Xenolor.
Hi.
He's
Pleasure.
been very useful and kind. We appreciate it. But you said he's Talon for now. Does he plan to change his name later?
That's
No.
up to him. I meant that's all the introduction I would give you, Thola.
Simon's gonna zip back and forth between Xanalor and Talon and be looking at really closely.
You're the same, but not
Brothers.
quite. that dark elf / Shatter Kai resemblance.
Well, and the fact that they're both wizards
Yeah.
of non-traditional schools,
Right.
it's
this-
very.
You're the same, but different.
Very off-put. It's like
Yes.
a mirror, only not.
The crazy,
We've
the
got
crazy mirrors.
time
It's
and
like
we've got matter.
I think Talon must have been the 12th of the litter to pick his name.
It's what was left. Yeah, so if we could like scatter and then meet up in the war room in a few minutes, that would be great. Maybe not all make a beeline at the same time. I think I can be gone for like 20 or 30 minutes before she'll come get me.
we could teleport.
That seems more obvious. How about we don't do that?
No. We
That
can
was a
use
very
our
obvious introduction.
legs like like normal people. But what I do, Thola does actually, she's like, everyone knows how to get there, but I suspect Talon, and she's the most interested in him because of his motifs. So she takes him. So you come with me.
Oh, okay.
I'll look at Thola, then I'll just stick with Mal.
Simon's gonna challenge Ajal to a race to the ship.
Oh, nice.
All right, Thola, as you go, there is this 3-foot tall female gnome with long red hair that comes down just below, I say just almost above the tops of her shoes, that hangs back. In it are beads of black, white, and silver that hold it all down. And she seems to be very finely manicured as she kind of looks at you with deep green eyes, and her skin is kind of this dark brown as she goes, ahem! Would you be Thola?
Hello. That is me. Yes. How can I help you?
My name's Sariel Cogswell. One of the 7.
Oh, very nice to meet you. And I extend my hand, and I don't. I guess maybe I have to bend down a little bit. I am pretty tall, but I just extend it out to her and give her some respect.
Absolutely.
Look her in the eyes.
Good to meet you. I was just about to set everything up. In fact, well, I am set up. I was just about to open in earnest for all you wonderful citizens. And since our, I guess our ways of looking at the world are the closest, I just wanted to get your blessing upon it, your approval, one would say. I am a seller of occult and religious artifacts, and books and blessings of all sorts from all gods.
Does that seem to interest you, Talon?
Not all gods, but some of them, yes.
Well, I think all have their place for some. We must accept all people, and some, which means we must accept their gods as well. Some of them, at least, I guess. Let's go. I appreciate you for finding me out. Sariel, is that correct? Or
Sariel.
And please show me. I'm very interested.
All right. You want to check her stuff out now?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's like kind of seems like she wants my attention. I just want to, I guess, go quickly, not really look at the items in her shop, but go to her shop. Look at how it is and how it's set up, and then like, oh well, this is very, very nice. And if you, I don't know if you want to describe it or what.
Yeah, I mean, you see tons of items here. And it is like, I mean, she sets this thing up. You think like she has all these booths and tables, some things that are stacked high up, other things that she has brought along guards to stand and let one person look at a time where they're carefully watched. It is, she came in a ship all to herself, a galleon, and that is what she has brought out. It is an immense setup. That just, I mean, does by its mere presence and look lend credence to this festival and to Darktoe. Like you get, by the way it's presented, you start to get the importance of them being here. But there's simple things like there's amulets of just about every god that is known, and some that you don't recognize. Parchments, reliquaries. There's you see that one can sign up for even like spellcasting services. Like she has this thing that simply says, "Get married today, 60 gold." And there's already people signing up for marriage time slots. It's for her to do the ceremony spell, basically, and to help them. Married people are harder to hit is another thing.
You don't get hit on as much.
That's not always entirely true.
I know.
So that's kind of like one end, and it goes from there where there is a lantern that inscribed within it is a symbol of the Dawn Father that gives off, you can tell, some type of divine aura. There is another that's shaped like a raven's head, and she recognized some of that. You can also see that there is necklace of these beautiful beads that seem overtly powerful. And so that's kind of where it aims, is like these small things that anyone would buy, candles and whatnot, little things that make sacrifices, to what looks like recovered items, possibly from temples, hopefully abandoned. That probably a high priestess used at some point. There's various things here, but yeah, those are kind of the range, and it's just this whole thing. And some people, on a few of the sections, people have to show how much gold they have on them before they're allowed to look. Right. They're like, can you afford anything in this section or not? And they're kind of sent along their way.
This is a very nice collection that you have here, and I see that you might be one of the most well-traveled of your bunch. Is that possibly true?
I highly doubt it. Any of us being better than any others would make that other one subject to being kicked out.
Well, it's good to see that you all see each other as equals. Me and my crew are pretty much the same.
Yep. Yeah. The other ones you might search out. They're not as forthcoming as me, but we're all here to do business and to hopefully, should you all have the coin, bless you with our wares.
We would look forward to it. And do you mind giving me some of their names? And you don't have to tell me all those now, Matt. You can put them in the chat if you want.
She actually go. You know what? I think with the arrival of the Seven, they do not hand out their names.
Oh, okay.
Each other's names. One will give them, but they do not circulate each other's names. It is part of their culture.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. All right. Well, very well. I appreciate your time, dear, and I'm sure you will see me again very soon.
She nods.
And I will head showing Talon to the dock there, to the Wild Blue.
Talon will just look around at everything, what the hell, where the hell did I land, what's going on here? Just completely taken aback by everything around him.
Is it your first time being on an island like this?
Not an island, but this island, yeah, definitely, yeah.
It is. It has a very interesting history, one of violence and revolution and freedom. But recently, things have changed, and they've gotten better in some ways.
I read about it, but I read about it a long time ago, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So everything doesn't look like what I read about.
I'm sure you must get updated books. Where are you from? I see that you wear symbols of the Raven Queen.
I'm from one of her temples, actually, the library in the temple. She sent me. I'm
which the one in Vast? She's like, which one? The one from Vast? And then you say Shadow, and she's like, "Oh, you're from a different plane entirely."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, she sent me. She said your world was sick, very, very, very sick. She occasionally sends visions or people to update me, but in the most part, it's just the things I see. They're clearly wrong, like vampires from the moon and the Deadlands themselves. This place is in some serious trouble.
I think with especially the account of the vampires on the moon, they're not this plane is not the only one that's sick, for sure. But it's good to see that I know that she hasn't forgotten us per se, but given us more help directly. It's interesting I'd never suspect to meet one of the sheriff fellows, especially here.
We're not common, but we do travel sometimes. I mean, the drift between the planes there's a couple good places to do it. It's a matter of need. How often do you need to leave the Shadowfell to go see what's happening on a different world? I'll just say you've got her attention.
Yes, we have met before. But we will save some of our discussion. Let's hurry up and not to keep them waiting. We all have things to share.
And by the way, Talon like defers to her and like walks a step behind her and like is very used to being around high priests and like knowing his place.
Right.
Very Menzo Baron Zen.
Not quite that extreme.
Very cool. In that case, we'll move onto the Wild Bloom, which is a ship roughly 50 feet long with flowers and vines that grow out of it. Around it, you see large lily pads that have come up over the last year. They can be anywhere from 10 to 17 feet wide. And what seems to be growing out of them are ships of various sizes. And walking along the water as they feet touch, roots seem to support them, are beings made entirely out of tree and root and flower that seem to be caring for and tending the ships. And Mao and Thola, you know that not only humans but other beings more like Gaius, living ships, have begun sprouting over this course of the Wild Bloom being docked so long. And his own ability to have his roots tie into the roots of the island itself that connect in it. And thusly, this has been going on, and one of the major deals is the first fully grown ship is set to be commissioned day on the 1-year anniversary. We'll have some crew that is ready to go from the Wild Bloom itself, as well as the ship, its quartermaster, like Gaius, part of the ship, but the ships being a different unit themselves. But you see these burgeoning, and they aren't connected so much. There are vines and such that grow from and to, mostly for transportation. It seems maybe even for communication, but it seems their health comes from a central root that the Wild Bloom can connect or disconnect from, and that it has made to the base of Darktow in of itself. Upon the ship, there is this moment of attention as really what is basically considered the full crew of the Wild Bloom has not set foot on it for over a year. And you see Gaius turn, and he now wears this long coat of red and gold leaves that have come along his foliage. His eyes seem to be a blue moss that surrounds a black mold. He turns, and his hair is a series of vines that have been stylized into dreadlocks as he begins to approach. Captain Mal, it is good to see you, sir.
Gaius, how are you, old friend?
Well, the whole crew, is there... Are we leaving?
We're not leaving yet. We just wanted to drop in and have a little conversation, not to mention see some old friends.
He pauses. I see. I am clearing out the war room as we speak.
Much appreciated. The new look kind of suits you. I kind of like this one.
I appreciate it. It's been, well, around everyone and now around so many. It's good to look the part, I guess, and I feel more me than, and no fault ever to you, you always treated me well, sir, but more me than your servant than I used to. I've liked it's expressed itself.
That
But
for sure.
Of course, ready to serve the king.
How's the new ship coming along? How big is it at this point?
I believe you would call it the size of a sloop.
A sloop.
Cute.
So my big boy himself. We know before the christening we don't like to say the name, so I will. I talked with Miss Cassandra. I don't know if she's notified you of the details, but she had said that I can announce the name, but it shouldn't be public until the actual christening of the ship.
Sounds good. Traditions to maintain.
And Mal, you hired the bard for that, right?
Pretty sure. I think the money at least went out.
Okay, good. And like Dola, like she doesn't frequent the ship as often as she did because she would have Arista tend to the gardens out of there too, just to, like in her room and things like that. Not that that obviously can't be handled by the ship itself, but it brings a more personal nature to it. She feels like the ingredients are better, right? If you tend to them with your own hand, right. Yeah. So, she just takes everything all in because maybe the last time she's been there with all the planning has probably been a month or so. So she's just really happy to be here and it's like, oh, your hair has even gotten longer since I've last seen you.
Yes, it goes well, and for his benefit, Gaius is wood himself and comes in and out of the ship. But then, go ahead.
Stepping out from behind Mal, I would see Gaius and kind of just be, Gaius, it's been longer for you than it has me, but this involves everyone. So if you would please join us.
Cinema Morris is enjoying the festival. Should I call him back?
No, I can speak with him later.
Indeed. I will show you there. And as he leads you down, you see there are small tree folk and insect folk that range from 6 inches to 7 feet that have scuttled out of the room carrying things. Some have melted into the wall away from it, and there's 3 others that are moving things into the precise position that they're supposed to be in. It seems that just throughout the year this has been used as something else, but in about 5 minutes it is set up the way that it always was.
Thola, does the war room seem smaller to you?
We just have too many heads in here, that's all.
Maybe.
You may have gotten used to the space in the roost.
I'll kind of shrink into the corner. Just kind of awkwardly stand in the corner.
Yes, you are.
They are.
So once everybody's in, and I set my things down, convergence on the planning table. You look at me and you see the gray in my hair is gone. The crow's feet around my eyes are gone. The wrinkles in my forehead have smoothed out. Malthola Gaius. And Xehanort, this is not so much relevant to you as this is our first meeting, but...
Nice to meet you, by the way.
And you. The time frame in which you experienced and what we experienced is grossly different, and there are things that need explaining.
What is it that you mean? You've been gone for a year. We've contemplated your death. We haven't heard anything. We have grieved. We have laughed. I don't know. Please explain. And you do look good. It's good to see that you look less stressed and more youthful.
This is our fifth day away since we set out.
Our
That's-
eyes widen.
That's not possible.
We traveled with Tonk to the thicket where we found his mother resurrected by Bingles, his daughter Gizmo, and Talon here. From there we teleported to the Siren Green Forest, as it was the closest entry into the dash where we believed Bingles to be held. And while in the Deadlands, time was sped up 1,000-fold from what Tonk explained. And the things we found in there were not just mindless undead, but two whole living civilizations of sentient undead that were going about everyday tasks as you would here on Darktoe, shipping out goods, tending to laundry, keeping guard. And in there we found information as to where Bingles was being held in the prison within Zadash. We were assisted by a being named Elanthor, an undead far evolved from anything we've seen of them or heard of them of that nature other than the Ruidians themselves. And in our endeavor to save Bingles, Simon here
I broke time.
used his God-granted wish to try to undo the events that led to the Deadlands.
Which broke time.
It did indeed.
I used to be really strong too.
I know Simon as he was before all of this. A being of great might, calling upon lightning to smite down his foes. Whereas you recognize him as the being that summons forth magical energies to strike out at his enemies. When that wish was in its attempt to complete itself, come true, we were shunted into a realm of possibility, is the only way I can phrase it. A place of Azrael's making, though Bingles also manipulated things in a similar fashion to the way he did there. The two of them had been, for years, halting the most catastrophic events to try and break them up into more manageable pieces, but in doing so built up a dam, so to speak, of energy that was bound to break at some point. We confronted Azrael there, but not without some casualties to Simon's and myself's possibility. I believe Tonk as well. After we managed to, by the skin of our teeth, defeat that version of Azrael, and I should warn you, there are multiple copies and many versions of him. I don't yet know everything that has changed in what we accomplished. But that version of him was defeated, and his brother escaped, though I know not to where. In the moments before that plane was to eject us or keep us there, Tonk and Bingles manipulated the possibility around us and within us to be able to send us back into this reality. Because with the wording of the wish, there was a strong possibility that because the Deadlands were not able to be prevented, it was too massive of an undertaking, we would just be stuck there because there was not a reality in which we could go back to in which that was true. They used everything they could to get us here and themselves to safety, but in doing so, they had to go elsewhere. They could not return to this reality. I believe them to be on Kea. Do you still recall what that is?
Well, yes. I mean, while Tonk is a traitor, he still did seem to care about nature all the time, more than most things. We all spend time on Kea.
Tonk is not a traitor.
Mm,
The possibility strands that struck us severed certain things, and I believe that to be what this world experienced the change. Tonk was loyal to Darktoe to a fault. He would have died to save any one of us. He nearly did die on numerous occasions, as you can recall.
Now,
As
I
did
was-
Bingles.
I will say this because I respect you, Caldrum, and I've heard you explain the blueprints for guns, weapons, cannons, yet nothing so eloquently put as the destruction and reconstruction of time that you've just went through that you explained to me right now. So I also trust that what you say to be true, just because I know the fact that there's just things that we in these bodies just can't understand.
but before we go jumping to conclusions, Thola, could it be a memory charm? Could it be they were lost or captive somewhere for a year and then someone modified their memories? Like, is there any way we could just dispel or eradicate that possibility? He might believe what he's saying, but it makes no sense to me.
You've
Well,
been to space
I
and
guess
fought
like
vampires from the moon.
But
Does
time,
anything not ever make sense?
I will. You can choose to resist this or not, but I'm going to temporal stasis you, Mal, which is my channel divinity, to just hold you in time for a moment. It's a charisma saving throw, DC 18.
I think you would try to resist it considering you're already
probably.
But I could just imagine while you guys are while you are talking, I'm also probing everyone's mind. So like I'm not taking your word for it. I'm also looking into your mind for it. And what I'm seeing is that at least you all believe what you're saying to be true. So I'm taking it for face value at the moment.
Failed safe.
And like I hold it for a second and then move to you while you like are stuck in that moment of time, and then release it. I have come to know time a bit more intimately since last we saw each other. I can
I'll
promise you what I say is true, and if Thola, you feel the need to perform a restorative spell on me to assuage any doubt that my mind is altered or hindered in some way, by all means, I will pay for your costs of that.
I've looked into you and the others' minds. What you seem to say you at least believe to be true. And plus I might have to say that for later. Hopefully people don't get too drunk.
If they are getting that level of drunk, they are far beyond what they should be. And perhaps you let them suffer the consequences of their actions.
Okay, Caldrum. I see, or maybe I don't see. Cass can explain it to me later. But if all of this is true, what do we do with this knowledge?
I don't know that you need to do anything with it, but I thought you deserved the truth, and Tonk deserved for you to know the truth. Bingles warned us of her mother being dangerous, Corberta, and I don't know if that is a danger to us specifically, or to Exandria at large, or just to Darktoe.
How is it every time we turn around we got another arch nemesis?
The same way every time we turn around we find new friends. It is the balance of things.
Fair. Well, welcome back, I guess.
And I will embrace you in a hug. It is good to be back, Mel.
It's good to have you back, but there's a lot of adjusting.
Well, I will say that I thought I lost most of you, and I am glad to see all your faces. Whether it's how you remember how you left or how I remember how you left.
Well, you should be remembering this face and how you first met me, technically.
Oh, yes, you look even younger than then, which is amazing when you have been through and your age and change. Nothing surprises me.
A boon of a fruit within that realm of possibility.
A fruit, you say? I wonder if we could make that into a pastry.
Unfortunately, the only other one I was able to salvage, Jajal truly wanted, which is why he looks as he does.
Yes, I was wondering why I was putting my Findal to the chin of a pimply cat neck. I thought he just befriended a new devil.
No, thankfully that is not the case. He just has some growing to do.
I think that was always the case.
You got any lives back?
I can only assume so.
Well, we have many festival activities going on.
Yes.
We have the carnival and the kids' carnival, and later will be a parade of sorts with music and fireworks.
Simon, is there anything else that I'm missing that they should know before we try to enjoy the festivities?
As far as what happened, no. As far as changes, maybe.
What other changes have there been?
Well, I mean, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I used to be very, very strong. Now, not so much. I used to use an axe. Now I use my fists, kind of.
He is much wiser now.
Yeah.
Well, the one I remember has always been wise and funny and loves cake. So, if
Still loves cake.
I mean, I do still love cake, but I wasn't always wise. I mean, I wasn't unwise. I've gotten a lot of inspiration, I guess I could say, from Kyranos.
yes. Have you learned more about at least anything where you come from in that time?
Apparently, I wasn't supposed to have survived. I was sent here. Supposedly, we were all supposed to have been eradicated. So that's the thing that happened. I wasn't the general before.
General.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you heard these names?
So I actually was going to ask Matt about that. Have we heard of these folk tale names in the last few months?
You would have. I think that's why. Like when you've heard of the legends, people haven't seen them, but it's been coming around and down. But I don't know if you associated them with them or not.
No,
I
I probably would not have. I probably would not have at all. That's my jerky.
All the ways to go.
Not in my jerky.
You good?
Death by jerky.
Uh,
We've come upon some names that were associated with us in the past day in Nicodranus, or the past few hours. Simon is the general. I was called the Solemn Sniper. Right, and what did they call you again?
God, was he the dragon tamer? That charmer? I've heard these names and stories and tales from people coming in. That is you.
Apparently, we don't know what we did.
We don't know what the world knows that we did.
Yes. I also don't remember ever being named the leader of anything, but I am apparently. So,
Talon, what did they call you?
I don't remember. I was a little taken
Time
aback.
Wizard. I don't remember what it actually
It wasn't
was.
Time Wizard. It was I think it was the Elf of Time or something like that.
No.
Chrono Sage.
The Chrono Sage, yeah.
Chrono Sage.
If it's not, it should be the Chrono Sage.
It's Chrono Sage now. Unless y'all change them anyway, so.
Yeah.
That is fitting. Interesting. Must be why I can't tell sometimes if you're a 20-year-old man or a 40-year-old.
Oh, are those the only age ranges you've seen?
Well, in at least him, I haven't caught anything else. But I see him flicker sometime. It's weird.
Yeah. I think that's
There's
it.
more, but we can
Yeah.
get back to the festivities.
Sorry.
We should figure out cool code names for everybody else here.
Yes, Zainlor.
I kind of want to circle back before. I didn't want to interrupt while you guys were catching up, friends. Hooray! When you were in Zadash, you said you were in Zadash.
We were.
What's the name you said? The guy who helped you?
The Death Knight's name was Elanthor.
I'm going to prestidigitate a small little bust of the face you saw, like the, I guess, human-looking man, black hair, kind of sunken in. Looks like he's dead. Him?
I think looking at this, it
Uh,
maybe
F-
could have been him.
after
There's a lot less red glowing eyes and balefulness.
After seeing that, can I just make my face look like how we saw Elena Thor?
Yes.
I jump back.
Sorry, he does that sometimes, Sainlo. That's just a thing that he does.
Tholacom, did you not realize that Simon was a changeling?
No, I knew that. I just didn't expect to see such an ugly undead face.
Well, that's a bit rude.
That
It's still
is-
my face.
He doesn't mean it personally, Simon.
You owe me a cake.
Sure.
There is
Not you.
dessert already. You can have cake.
So from what I know from past experience and work, people can't really leave the Deadlands, right?
That was previously
Uh,
true, but not the case any longer.
Yeah,
They
that
have-
was another thing. The shield thing, containing the Deadlands, has gotten some cracks in it, and so that's the thing that's happening now.
The processes that were happening, the spreading of undeath and whatnot, have ceased thanks to the wish and what we accomplished in that realm of possibility.
Okay. But that doesn't really explain how. I'm gonna look at Thola and Malin. The ship I was on, I kind of got booted off of. I got booted off the ship I was on. He was there. He's the one who did it. And
That-
he was, yeah.
Elanthor, you mean? I think
shouldn't
that
have been.
was,
I know for a fact it should not have been him.
as there are multiple Azraels, I believe there are also multiple Elanthors about.
So the one that teleported away was a copy of that Elanthor. So that those of you who were there know.
Okay.
So actually, when he makes that image, I'm sorry, he would have made the image of that one you had fought in that final battle.
So who was the Death Knight? Was the Death Knight a different Elanthor?
Yes.
Nope.
No? Did
I
I,
mean,
have that name wrong?
No, it was a different. It was the same. It was Elanthor. But it wasn't. It was an Elanthor from another reality.
Okay. So we did in fact meet two different Elanthors.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
actually like it wasn't just some other guy named Elanthor.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say. It's
The
not
one that you
that.
fought-
Variants.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it
one
was
that
a variant
fought.
Elanthor. Thank you.
Yeah, I know for a fact he should not have been there talking to my now former boss.
Well,
That's
so,
why.
so I think what we've realized from being in there is that there's
There are many of
like
them.
a lot of us, just like, but like separate. Like there's a version of me that was still the big strong axe wielder, but then there's also this version of me which is not strong and doesn't use weapons really. So there could be a version of you that does like nature magic, or a version of Mal where he is like a sorcerer.
I look at Mal and like I like try to contain a laugh and like bust out laughing.
Laugh it up. Yeah.
She can basically do that already.
Yes.
At this point, go ahead.
Azrael created multiple copies, both adult and children version of himself, with a woman named Lucre, and then using other magics. Though the further that the events from the epicenter of the Deadlands occurred, the harder it became And so now, to our knowledge, he's not able to continue making those style of copies. Elanthor also made extras of himself with Lucre through natural birth, though I assume it was sped up by magic. So whoever we saw of Elanthor, the person that you're saying should not have been, these were likely variants of the person you know.
What is this, Lucre? It seems like a troubling matter to have something that you can produce copies of yourself just around. This being that allows you to do that.
Zanelord, let me back you up for a split second. You kept saying he should not have been there. When you say that, what do you mean exactly? Why should he?
Up until whenever I got booted off that ship, it was to my knowledge that the fact that he died in Zadash. I was told that specifically. And I saw him there on the ship before I got booted. He didn't... it's still a lot. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. He didn't recognize me.
But you knew him. He should have recognized you.
I'm the Elanthor I knew. I was one of the first faces he saw. Well, technically, yeah. He's technically my brother. Adopted.
Your brother.
Adopted.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a very exact, like I said, adopted. He looks human. Yeah, I knew he shouldn't have been there on that ship with my boss. A lot to throw at you all right now. I'm sorry.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
I used to work for an Archmage in the Kryn Dynasty, named Amnon. He is the Death Keeper. He's also Azrael's brother, I guess, because Elanthor popped up on that ship and said, "Hey, your brother's dead. We need to avenge him and rebirth him." And then they saw me, and then I wound up here.
How many siblings does Azrael have? This is becoming troublesome, trying to keep track of them all.
Zanelord's now just like square into the corner.
Oh, I mean, we don't need the whole family tree, but a little bit more detail would be helpful.
I don't know.
Okay.
By your statement, you are also a brother of his. But if you've been here for however long and Mal trusts you, I have no question as to where your loyalties lie. Do not worry in that regard. He didn't say
he was a brother of Azrael.
Yeah.
No, but he said he was Elanthar's, and I thought Elanthor was Azrael's brother.
No, Amnon is the Lazarus.
Oh, okay. That's where my notes got mixed.
Yep, no worries. Thought that sounded a bit off.
Well, I guess you picked the right island to fall into.
Guess I did.
Why wouldn't they have just killed you, though, if you were overhearing something that you shouldn't have heard?
I'm still asking myself that question.
I mean, archmages have plenty at their disposal, as I understand it. Wouldn't be that difficult to just poof, gone.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they thought they sent him to a place where he would just die, but then he didn't get sent there.
Who would ever do that?
What kind of archmage would send another wizard out thinking that they don't have the means to survive? Maybe it was a final parting gift, not killing you.
Well, there's a difference between book smarts and realizing stuff like that.
Yes.
Like, it makes sense to us that wouldn't work, but you know,
I mean,
I also can't make heads or tails of a lot of the magic stuff that some of y'all do.
yes, I think in the heat of a moment, we can all just wish to send someone away. Isn't that right, Mal?
As far as we know, he drowned.
And as far as they know, Xanalor is gone forever. Xanalor?
Xanalor, Z.
Z. I'm going to call you Z.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible you just got lucky.
Yeah. Fortune's favor and all that. Ooh.
Well, what exactly did you say you were doing on that ship? What was the purpose for being there again?
So Amnon has some friends who are, well, I say friends is like a term. They work together sometimes. Who are kind of dealing with. He didn't say exactly, but he said like a rift in time and space and reality. The one he really talks to asked for help, and he was like, okay, we'll send ships to help form like a sort of barricade around the whole area. I mean, I worked closely with Amnon, so I was there with him. But we were... Matt, would Amnon have said Illithid? Or was he given that information?
Yeah.
He said something about the word Illithid. Illithid problem.
There's that word again.
What is that?
From what Cass told me, they're these squiddy-faced weird things that can control people and are voracious and like to take over territories and minds.
Are they aligned with the Druidians?
Or are they like Steve?
No, I don't imagine them being much like Steve.
I'm gonna transform to look like Steve. Nothing.
You gotta give Xanalor what Steve.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's the hair. Well, I mean, he does have a squiddy face. Crap, didn't we have a picture of him in the chat at some point?
Gods, I don't remember.
Wasn't it straight out of SpongeBob?
No, I kind of. Don't remember. Wait, hold on.
Oh, I had it. Shit. I had it and then I lost it. Did you re-upload it?
I just put it in just chatting.
Yes.
Yeah, more or less that.
For Steve.
Could be. I don't know. I never saw them. We're just kind of like circling the outside of the area. We're on like... We're just like watching out for stragglers if some are trying to run.
And where is this happening?
So that was north. bit more east from here.
You would know the name a little. You would know near the island of Araxel.
You're near the island of Araxel.
Which all of you do know. Because that is the island in which the lady resides.
It's like a never-ending to-do list here.
I mean, we never actually dealt with the lady. We just sort of, called it off and decided to go our separate ways, and not pick on each other for a while.
Yes.
Although I think Jajal may have some unfinished business there.
Yes, I wanted to follow up with him to see how that was going.
We'll have to discuss what other changes have occurred, but it looked like you all have put a lot of effort into this festival, so I'm going to do my best to enjoy it.
Please do. And show your face around. We have the 7.
Is it wise for us to show our faces if we were thought dead?
It might even be the greatest surprise. We could act like we had you kept away for a few weeks and we wanted to bring you in to celebrate big together. We'll make something up.
I mean,
Do you want to
there
make
were
a spectacle of
people
it?
There were a fair amount of people that already saw us, when we went.
Yeah, when you
And
guys
Now,
are-
when is your speech?
I mean, it's whenever I get around to it, but probably tonight.
I think it would probably be best before the fireworks.
Mhm.
Up to you if you wish to make a spectacle of it, of inviting us back in whatever manner you feel is appropriate. Or if we should just go around being like, hey, we're not dead.
It could be good publicity naming you all as the legends that have been going around,
Could be.
but it also could be bad. You can't have good without the bad.
Do any of you have any outstanding debts or bastard children we should know about before we decide to announce you? Or
Not as far as we know.
If
that's
you
my usual line
recall,
too.
we were only gone for 5 days, so you would know about that more so than we would. Since they would have grown in that time, or somebody might have tried to
That's fair.
look for compensations.
So I guess all debts are paid then.
Just
Jajal,
make
I'm
sure
a little
you,
disappointed.
Unless
take-
Wyatt has made his way back and is looking for us.
that is possible. Make sure
Nah,
to
he's
visit the
definitely
merchant.
dead.
Make sure to visit one of the 7 merchants. I've already met one. Well, Talon and I. She had a lot of occult and religious artifacts. Maybe your newfound talents, Caldrum, you might want to take a visit.
Of people hearing these titles that we've been granted, the only people that I would care for to actually hear of it is probably my father. But that is a tale for another night.
Yes, it was sad to see him go so abruptly, but we know that we cannot. As much as he's helped and been a partner, we could not obviously keep him, and he left and seemed to get into his own trouble.
Did you all look after Brutus?
We've been feeding him, but other than choking on the occasional chicken bone, he should be fine.
He commonly runs around the roost. He's very friendly to a lot of the kids around.
I'm sure Cinemoris has looked after him. I should
Honestly,
find him.
Cinemoris has been really into his work. He reminds me of you sometimes. You
That's
should
good
go
to
talk
hear.
to him. In the best of ways, yes, but also sometimes in he's optimistic, but you have been gone for a year, and that could do a lot for a boy that looks up to a man.
I'll make sure to find him.
As much as we tried, we can't be that parental figure for him, and plus, no one wants Mal as a parental figure. So
That's for damn sure.
Rasmus appreciated you, as do I.
oh, we all appreciate Mal, but that's why we are all a group in tandem together. We help balance each other out.
Yeah. Somehow.
Well, we aren't dead. And not a lot of groups can say that.
I guess I'll find you again before your speech, before the fireworks then.
Yeah.
All right, then with that, let's take our break. Alrighty. Go. All right. So, you all ready to go to the rest of the festival for now, or anything else you need to discuss in the war room?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm down with festivities.
All set.
Perfectly fine. On the way out of the war room, by the way, Talon will bump into Keldrum real quick and say, "Nice work on the stasis. Almost didn't feel that one."
I don't think we draw from the same source, but we affect the same element. But thank you. Someone as mastered as you, that is a high compliment.
I'm like halfway there. There's a lot more to learn.
And there always will be.
Kind of looking at Talon, does Aenor get the kind of vibe of what magic Talon practices?
I mean, I would say it's fairly obvious just because he's obviously been playing with time for quite some while because he's a little bit timeless himself, and sometimes in certain moments, as Thol alluded to, he looks like he's about 16 and sometimes about 65, and just flips between them a little bit, and he's just never really the same for very long. He's just weird little glitchy moments.
Noted.
Yeah, you see the classic signs of Dunamancy.
Heavily noted.
All right, then in the festivities, what are the type of things that you would all like to do?
Immediately send Noctis off to go find Cinemoris, starting at the shop. But
Nice.
until he comes back to me, I'm just walking around seeing what Thola and Mal prepared.
All right. Anybody else? Anything in particular?
I'm just looking for more of the merchants, I think.
I'll tag along.
Simon's going to eat from every stall, food stall, all of them,
All right.
possibly multiple times at each.
Perfect.
Whenever I see Simon just kind of zipping around, I'll just kind of, if I get a glimpse, I'll adjust his density to be lighter so we can just get places quicker for a minute.
You also see him literally running from one stall to the other, just going up, running on a wall for 20 feet, and then running back down like it was nothing. You see him run across a little fountain area, the water's nothing, just...
Now it's even less than nothing.
Yes.
Thola, I thought he was conspicuous before. He's got more energy and more pep now. This is going to be impossible to hide.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to it, and seems to be a lot happier, even from back then.
Simon, grab me one of those, please.
Just 1 second you're not holding anything, next second you have one in your hand.
Amazing.
I'll just hold my hand out, just give whatever, I guess, please. Just whichever.
You get a rock.
I can use one of these. Cool.
You said
Alright.
whatever.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I'm rolling with it.
As you are, Simon, I think as you are moving through all of the stalls here, you come upon a massive setup, which seems like 17 stalls all in once, where there is all types of ingredients to make very rich food, everything you can imagine, as well as prepared and stylized dishes. One thing that's handed to you as you were just looking for food is a stack of pancakes with banana, strawberries, and blueberries dripping with honey, around which there is the sculpture of a green pseudo dragon that seems to be made out of what seems like to be edible leaf. And they're passing out to everybody.
Yeah, that's probably something I'm gonna come back for seconds or thirds or fourths. Yes.
All right. This seems to be run by this rather large and imposing human with a white puffy hat, currently working towards a hunk of working on a hunk of beast flesh that's resting on a wooden board. He has this really amazingly sharpened and gleaming knife that he's coming down, striking, putting into different meats as he sees different people watching. He goes, "All right, we've got all this ready for the big feast at 1, and then we'll have a big old feast at 4. Come buy your tickets. Enjoy the feasts of the 7." And he goes, "Hey!" You see ale and things being passed around.
Thola, is this one of the 7?
It seems like it. I haven't met them all but one. They
This is
seem pretty elusive.
your mention of them earlier was the first I've heard of them.
Yeah, I think Sam, what do you want to do? I think we can probably have 7
Yeah.
in Cal, because I want to just make people have time to interact with them rather than everyone being each one.
I mean, Simon's gonna get a ticket for both the feast, for all of the feasts, one for each.
Amazing.
And he'll just kind of pop up next to the guy chopping meat, kind of just all of a sudden. What you making?
What? Goes this? Right now, this is fresh dragon, only for our celebration days.
Ooh, I fought dragons. Do they taste good?
When prepared correctly, absolutely.
I prefer sweets, but I don't mind meat. Are you, do you think you can cook as good as Stola does?
I've not heard of the Stola.
She's the
But-
best cook in the world.
Yeah. Very good.
He's
I
like,
don't-
shoot, got a shop though.
Multiple worlds, actually.
Yeah.
Multiple worlds.
Well, I'm halfway with my ship into the Stola, which is a little friendly competition. I'd be glad to see what I might throw away. After all, not everyone has access to these finds, and you see it looks like he throws a unicorn horn like shavings into something, shaves off a unicorn horn, like and messing and using a what looks like dragon bones for a base of a soup.
Unicorn horn, is that like a truffle? White truffle?
I imagine it's just like the best sugar.
So yeah, I mean, Thola's like nearby, and she's, smiling. No, that I appreciate it, Simon. I do cooking for the love of it and warming those bellies, but I also can't say no to a competition. But I will just, for now, love to try what you are serving.
Oh, it's pancakes right now. 5 silver a stack.
I will pay a silver for a stack, and I'll
5
give him.
silver a stack.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'll give 5 and then 1 for a tip. Sorry.
Okay, nice.
I'm gonna kind of step up and like look at the meat, potentially having overheard he said dragon. What kind of dragon was this?
The dragon that's working is like, this one? Oh, this. I figured you pirates have active palates, so I thought you could take a little bit of heat, so I've got Red Dragon for today.
I would imagine that has some sort of heat. Okay.
Oh yeah, spiciest of the meats.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
I'll have a special thing for the discerning palate, or I make some fine quickling chocolate with the dragon meat.
Interesting. That sounds really good. Yeah. And Zane will just stand there for like a second longer than he should, and then walk away. Not buy anything, just ask the question.
Yeah.
I think I whispered to Thola, is it normal to be cooking with sentient the bodies and meats of sentient beings nowadays?
I think these merchants are. I think their exotic nature is what makes them so desired. The lady that I saw earlier with the religious artifacts had some questionable pieces that might have been from temples that may have still been in use.
Noted. This guy's just Toriko, by the way.
Yeah, so I'll try it. I guess it's pretty spicy. Is it more gamey? Is it like alligator? So like kind of like chicken-ish, or what does it taste like?
He'll give you a sample because he's going to make it for later.
Okay.
But he's kind of using it kind of like a constant roast, getting some of the flavors. But the way he has done it, it seems to be extremely tender and juicy. You can tell. You would think it was tough, but it's had gone through some type of preparation to basically transform it into something edible, and it is extremely edible and very good. You definitely taste like at least a mix of, you'd think, 23 different spices, herbs have been put into it, flavors that have been put together.
Nice. This is great. You've really accomplished something here with this. And your name is?
My name is Craig.
Craig. Nice to meet you, Craig. And obviously you are very well versed in fine dining and exquisite eats.
Indeed. Oh.
Do you
Indeed.
Do you procure these items yourself, or have a crew that
No.
does it for you?
It's a combination, right? A combination of things I might get ourselves, things we trade for other stuff.
Fair enough.
Because with dragons, all the times, it's just having your name out there for those who might run into them.
And you are a part of the 7, or?
Oh, indeed. Oh, I am. I do much of the food trade throughout Exandria, especially, this type more exotic. The discerning palate. A lot of, you'd say the kings and queens might dine on my things more than others. Frankly,
Foods.
common folk tend not to like it. So I always make sure that I might leave a shipment of venison or whatnot just lying around for the raw people to find and distribute to the masses.
I think it's good for those two. They may not have access to dine like kings and queens. But it makes sense. A food ship that travels and deals in its ingredients, that must be pretty lucrative.
It is. Oh, I said nothing really. But you know, you have these warrior rulers, like you keep King Dwendal, for instance. He needs to always impress. So if he has a good thing, he needs the meats of mighty beasts, and they know how to reach me. And everyone just kind of assumes they took care of it themselves, or their soldiers did. No one needs to know that they had nothing to do with the Medusa souffle or whatnot.
That is very interesting and exquisite indeed. Of course, those always want to prove and showcase by very extraordinary things. It makes sense.
Absolutely. And just so you know, we do all things as humanely as we can. There are those who, well, the one I took over, that I oversaw their exit from the Seven, had a habit of being cruel. Kept some hydras, and you can imagine the cruelty one could do on that.
Indeed, I think that everything tastes better when it's not under distress, right? Once before it's cooked. Well, we will definitely be sure to be back to try that your dragon out before the end of the night, of course.
Absolutely. Glad to provide. And of course, we're, I'm not charging much, especially for the feast. The pound cakes, that's a little special. But, I told my people that any price we'll have, well, for the mine feast, it's replaced where there would be gold, there's copper. Or some of the more extra items, we've just gone from gold to silver for y'all. That's all a way of, and we are quite interested. And I should say, the Seven would love it circulated that our flags are, shall we say, friendly to your ships, or your ships are at least friendly to us, eh?
Oh, of course, we always appreciate a kind investment and
should, you know, we understand that among much establishments such as yours, you might occasionally come into possession of something that belongs to us. And if you would procure that and pass it along back to our peers, you know, we'd be happy to continue our support.
And we're looking forward to it. We are also looking forward to meeting the rest of your cohorts.
Yeah, some are harder to find than others. I say there's some that even in this society like to find the more morally ambiguous sort.
Of course. It only makes sense that your field must serve, of course, all types.
All right. Anything else somebody wants to do?
When I have a hot minute, I'd like to catch up with Cass and let her know the prodigal team has returned. I sort of fill her in on some of the details, but not too much, just enough to get us on most of the same page and just ask, any signs of trouble yet or no?
Not that, not that I can find. Sorry. Not that I can find. Oh my gosh, can't do it. The Mel. She cannot find any at the moment. Not entirely aware. It is not what I have. Our intelligence is lacking, I think, today. But I have not seen ships that I recognize as enemies. There are many people here and many things we, don't have customs. So, as good as it can be.
Okay. Well, yeah. Just the sheer population will be hard to keep track of.
Yes. I did procure, and she holds up a large, I would say probably like a, to be about 3 feet by 4 foot case, and you see what look like 18 bottles of a silvery liquid. She goes, for anything in the future, I grab some truth serum.
Oh, that's clever.
Though there's not always available.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what's great about this is it's a ingesting, so we can slip it into food, drink,
Mhm.
especially if we have negotiations again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that being a significant advantage the last time we had this problem.
Mhm.
Clever, clever, clever.
All right.
I think like for a little bit of the day, just to get out of the sun, I retreat back into wherever I set up my little magnificent mansion doorway, and just kind of hide out in there.
Okay. Then, Thola, and anyone could be in any of these if they want, but Thola, if you wanted to specifically try to find a 7 merchant, you can do investigation check.
Sure. Yeah, I want to look like the hardest, not the hardest, but one that might be a little bit more inconspicuous. Here, let me investigation. Oof, I'm still not good in that, huh? Let's see here.
You do have Talon tagging along behind you if you're curious.
That's could have been worse. Rolled an 18 for a 17.
Okay. Sounds good. Case. All right, with a 17, you find your searching through, and it is interesting. I think as you see that there is there are 2 lines, kind of people. When I say line, there just seems to be 2 directions in which people are leaving the main area of Dark Toe. And you see that some are moving into what looks like a cellar door that would lead beneath the drinking establishment, while another actually you see is mostly younger people, some children, and occasionally an adult there, but always brought by a kid. And you kind of stick close, and you notice when nobody's looking, they're just standing at one of the docks in which there is no ships. And then if you're really sneaky, you see them move quickly and vanish as they look like they're about to step out into the water.
I'm like, oh, this Must be one of those types of funny things, and I'll kind of follow suit.
Okay. Sounds good. Anybody who would like to be there as well is fine. So coming in here, you you step aboard a wooden plank, and immediately you see a side, what looks like a pull-up door to the side of a ship that is completely pulled up, and as you step on it, looks like several types of decks could be lowered so they would be just at dock height. This would be several ways to secure it, but as you come in, there are cages, some hanging from the ceiling, others on shelves, others huge and massive that are just on the ground containing enormous types of animals. One, you see what looks like a glass, well, it looks like just a piece of glass that contains nothing until a worker you can see dressed as a clerk throws a piece of chicken leg in, and then midway it just sort of stops about 10 feet above the ground and slowly sinks and dissolves, leaving just the bone floating in mid-air. You see a heavily gloved person showing off this bird that seems to have a snake's tail to it, explaining that the bite is extremely deadly. You see a full-on griffin in a cage here. And many things. As one of you can tell, just obviously a clerk more type of person comes up and goes, welcome. Is there any particular animal I can help you procure or something more rare?
And I take it that these are beasts that can be befriended and used in different ways. Your name is... I'm sorry, my name is Stola.
Oh, my name is Sven. I just work here. Befriend is a strong word. Some of our things are for collection. Others, people do attempt to, I think, use them as pets with varying degrees of success, depending upon your, what is you, I guess. What is your particular need of things? For instance, and she points to a vase that's in a cage and pokes it, and it with a stick a little bit as a mouth opens in the middle of the vase and it bites the stick. These mimics are quite easy to train if you feed them appropriately. Though you must be on it, one missed feeding and they'll take it out of your hide, literally.
That is charming. What is the most... Well, I wouldn't say news. What is your favorite unique exotic beast that you have? I'm sure that you have displacer beast or maybe aquatic animals of sorts.
We do have displacer beasts, yes. We have a pair, male and female. And I would say, I think, to be honest, my particular favorite for me is we have a manticore that I'm particularly fond of. Though they are the more on the probably not the train, the dangerous thing. Though I do believe we are sailing to a zoo in Marquette after this.
Oh, that is very, very interesting. Have you ever had a unicorn in stock?
For the right price, we could have one now.
That is crazy. I've never seen one, but wouldn't it be nice to have a unicorn floating around in the streets? It would be a marvelous sight.
Yes, and I have heard rumors that one could do such things as to prevent them from leaving an island such as this place. If, of course, one was interested in such a thing. And if we had one.
Yes. Maybe we will talk sometime. After we have so many more. Are you the merchant?
Just a
of the
second.
sun, or
Do
you
not
just-
pet the owlbear! No. Okay. Yes.
So, are you just a worker here, or are you a merchant of the seven?
I am of. You could say. We call it floor. You would say that the owner is maybe 7th floor. I am 3rd floor employee.
Oh. And what is on these floors? Is this just the rarity of beast, or do you deal in different?
The floor has more to do with our base. From where it is here, we all work and sell everything that we have.
I look at Talon. Oh, so this wasn't a illusion. This was possibly a pocket dimension.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly room for that. We don't know what the size of the ship is, but there's got to be at least some amount of space warping happening.
Oh, a wizard.
I dabble. Huh.
Would you be interested in I have many wizards, like I have a creature by the name of a Tresson.
I bet that's incredibly expensive.
It depends what you think expensive is.
Oh, I don't know. A couple hundred platinum?
You're lucky I am not unscrupulous. No, for the citizens of Darktoe, we would say 100 gold.
100 gold. Wow, I'd have to make change.
That would be very nice. It would be. Just imagine that. You have a little flying Tressum around.
Talon, I'm sure your platinum is accepted just as much as anybody else's. You can just give them 10.
I mean, it's got funny marks on it if they don't want me to exchange it, I guess, but...
Well, we go everywhere. You can feel free.
Wait, have you
about
had
it.
issue with the markings on your coinage? Are they not the same weights?
I mean, they're the same weight, but not the same markings. On a different trip, I got some looks.
That's fine. I have we have 3 left in stock. Should we if we were able to help you before they sell out?
Okay. How many have you sold recently?
This is all fresh that we came today, so we packed the 3 that we have.
Okay. I may be back then.
So yes, you think it's like a cockatrice. You have what you are sure is well, actually you would know, Talon. You see a definitive dragon egg that is there.
Do you have, before I go, It's a rarity, but I've heard stories of it. Do you have a Star Lancer?
Star Lancer. Double check because I did in fact make a list of what they have.
I had one in my Saturday campaign.
Did you really? Nice. Dude, it just seems so sick. Like,
I'm so sorry, though. We do take, we should you put a deposit and order in, we could see what we could find. As long as we come back, or when we come back, we could contact you.
yes, and I guess I don't make the decision before I check back and maybe see if you have the unicorn in stock.
Yes. And then gets quiet. And you kind of see as you've been talking, they press this little stone that you now realize there's like a another thing on my hand, but a gauge. They all have like the stone gauge in their ear. Every once in a while, they press it and look like they're listening to something, and they go, if we understand that places such as yours sometimes have enemies, and these days there's a reliance on metal. We have some particular creatures that like to, you could say, mess up that of metal. They find it delicious, if you're interested.
Oh. Yeah, yes, I think I might be familiar with such. What, it could be useful, of course, with the enemies, but, maybe, yes, if we... Are you, like, I guess, like, am I getting that he's referring to, like, the ships that we fight that are metal, per se?
Could be other things, but basically he's offering to sell you one or more rust monsters.
Right, okay. I was like, I'm like, maybe I should check on our weapons guy if I think that rust monsters could get through Ruidian metal or whatever their ships are made out of. But yes, this is all very wonderful. Now, Talon, don't be shy. I think you should definitely get yourself something. They're only going to be here for a day. If not, trust them, then maybe a Pegasus that you can fly on.
I haven't slept under the same roof much in the last couple of weeks. I don't know that I'd be able to take care of an animal.
Fair enough, but if you've lasted this long, I'm sure that you could invest in something that would help you out, I guess. If it does, in fact. Who knows?
Does your temple have rats?
Oh, no. It's way too pristine and clean for that.
Okay. I'll think about it.
All right. Did anyone want a cool beast? I think I definitely might get a unicorn later, but we'll see about that.
How are you going to keep it here?
I don't know, man. We need to figure something out. This is gonna be its lair. What are you talking about? This is gonna be unicorn island.
If Simon were not busy eating almost all of the food on the island himself, he maybe.
I'd probably like swing by here just to look around, like at some point during the day. It's like if I like for some reason part from you guys to take a break from the sun, but I don't know if I'd buy. I'd just like peruse to look.
Yeah, sounds good. And in this one, because it is somewhat special, there we go. I'm giving you the list of animals I have for this.
Oh, snappers!
So I'm not putting their prices, but you can ask me about them.
For
So I just put it into mid game.
Holy.
Yeah.
Jesus H.
I've always wanted a gelatinous cube pet.
Oh, hey, if we're gonna have a celebration episode, give you some chances to have some fun.
You can have Space Hamster.
I mean, we can have some fun with the giant goat, but it probably wouldn't. Well,
The
Wouldn't end well.
scroll of the
Well, the
Tarrasque.
Flail snail.
Oh, that thing is hilarious.
Yep.
Going to the dragon egg. What color is the dragon egg?
This dragon egg is green.
Ooh.
Super cool.
We have a gelatinous cube defend the island.
Yes, that was the piece of chicken deteriorating.
just pure curiosity. How much would the scroll of the Tarrasque cost?
The scroll of the Tarrasque is 250,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
Nice.
Holy shit.
I can't tell if that's discounted or not. How much would the dragon egg be?
Let me relook. Dragon egg. That is 1,000 gold pieces.
I don't know how much I have. I think I forgot to ask about starting gold when I made him.
What is that thing under flying monkey? No idea what that is.
The Rothe.
Yeah. It's a smaller. It's a smaller Underdark cow and has a
Yeah.
limited magical ability.
Okay. I mean, that sounds funny, but
I have no idea how much gold.
So I take this time to start breeding Brutus.
Right, with the shadow hound. The
With
shadow
something.
mastiff.
Maybe a death dog.
I'm getting flashbacks to Tuesday because
To clarify,
Brutus can't get a death dog.
Brutus is already a mix between a blink dog and a displacer beast.
Yeah.
He was mostly just a pack animal. And then I left him because I was like, I'm not gonna bring him to the Deadlands, and so he's just been chilling.
Understandable.
And then I gained the ability to bonus action hide, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I was on him. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not using him.
Yeah. The Rothe basically can cast dancing lights.
Oh.
Other than that,
Oh, yeah.
it's a cattle.
So Matt, since I forgot to ask when I gave you the character sheet, how much gold would I be starting with?
5,000 gold.
5,000. Okay, I'm putting 1,000 down for that dragon egg.
Okay. I'll let you keep track. It will hatch in 300 days.
Okay, this is good to have.
Because who doesn't want a random dragon egg to hatch?
Yeah.
Whether they're here or not here.
Is it good to have?
I mean, it can hang out with the dragon that's underneath our island anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to check with that guy to see how that festive, or not the horn, or whatever it was. The dragon touched focus, should I say? Is that what I gave him? No, I think I gave him something else. No, I gave him that. Yeah, that's what it was.
Cool.
So the Pot of Awakening is essentially just a mobile version of
Yep.
our ship.
Yeah.
I'm just going through looking up all of these because I don't know what all of them are.
All right, while you're doing that, is there anything else anybody wants to accomplish while people are looking at animals?
Find Cinemoris.
That's right. Oh. Wait. Let me get to that. All right, you guys ask me any questions from the animals as we go. I just want to make sure we're doing some things. So. All right. In that case, you are brought to a roof where you see Cinemoris is, as are various people. This is again a little bit more of a hidden one. And on this roof, they're basically set up. All these items are on essentially blankets, very soft, are extremely well crafted and made weapons, all upon the roof. Some bundled together, and people are like haggling and buying. And like others, there is a actual what looks actually like a blanket sewn out of platinum almost, that has ones that, from your experience and crafting, recognize immediately as highly magical weapons.
Is he currently like interacting with customers?
Cinemoris?
Yeah.
Cinemoris looks like he's more shopping.
Oh, okay.
And so you look, and it seems like he's trying to get as best looks as he can at some of the more interesting things, and the eye that's like, how could I make this at home? Like, kind of pouring over, like you can see he's looking for the angles at which someone might have like forged it, and those types of things. And I'm sorry, I forget, what was Simon's person's name?
Stump.
Right.
I love that Ryan knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? I love Stump. I think that's a great name for him.
It looks like he's also helping Stump in like a haggling conversation over this what looks like a some type of weapon that's carved out of bone.
I think I send Cinemoris to kind of just like flutter in front of him and fly back to me to get his attention. Because he wouldn't have seen
Noctis,
Cinemoris
right?
Noctis, yeah.
Thank you.
What did I say?
Cinemoris.
No, I don't send Cinemoris to fly and get his own attention.
It's me. I do keep this, or I'll get confusing a lot of names. So yeah. It comes in and you see like it going in, it's like, I think 500 gold. Can't we do 3? Come on, man, 300. And they're going. It goes. He's very happy that he looks at Stump like, and he will. I think look at you and like mouth like he'll talk to Noctis because he knows what you can do with Noctis.
Yeah. Seeing that,
or he gestures you over, whatever.
Yeah. I'll listen in to Noctis first, but keep my eyesight to hear what he's trying to say to me.
Yeah, it goes. Stump's trying to buy a gift for Simon. He found this real cool boomerang.
I'll come over. Long time no see, son.
He gives you a big hug.
You've really strengthened your forearms there with the fire.
Well, I try to do my best. I just, yeah. That's you taught me a lot of stuff.
Stump, before you make that purchase, Simon's changed a bit. He's less strong now and more quick with his fists.
Well, that's how he's always been.
Don't mind me. It's been a long time.
All
And
right.
just like to myself, that's going to take getting used to.
And you actually see there is a bit of you recognize this was not crafted by your father, but you recognize his techniques. It's something that Cinnamore shows this person as Stump is trying to haggle, and the guy looks at it and he goes, "Tell you what, kid, I'll give it to you for 1 gold, right?" Stump's eyes get really wide and gives the gold, and kind of, behind Stump's back and sort of over his head, Cinnamorus hands this dagger that seems to be made from obsidian as well as silver. And the guy kind of pockets it really quick and then hands over this bone-carved boomerang.
I kind of give Cinnamorus just like a smirk and shake my head, knowing that he was doing it to make Stump feel like he got a great deal. Stump, did you want to give that to him tonight, or are you saving that for a special occasion?
We saw y'all in the thing, and I realized I hadn't bought my present for him yet, and they call this the Storm Boomerang.
Yeah, that's right up his alley. The whole lightning deal. That's a great find, Stumpy's gonna love it.
I could just imagine a riff in the background, like Wayne's World and shit. Like
Thunder and lightning just surround.
exactly. AC/DC font and the Storm Boomerang.
Cinnamorus, just find me later after the festivities. I don't want to interrupt your time with Stump.
We're done. Can you? All right, I'll find you. I want to make sure he gets back to the ship safe. A lot of people in town.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't lose it on his way there.
Yeah, we're still a pirate town.
Well, stealing amongst each other here is illegal still.
So is it in
there's
every
that.
other place.
Well, that's true.
It's under even tells under Mal, a lot of things are still true though. Let's just say the no steal among pirates is more an honor than a fear, I think. And not everyone is honorable, as we'd all like. But like I said, there's that minority that'll still do what they do.
Are you set up in Hyan's old shop? Or are you still working out of the ship?
Stay in the ship. I miss the sea.
Yeah, we've been docked for... Well, you've been docked for longer than I have. I'll just say that. There's things I need to tell you later.
I know where you went. I know we talked to people in the year. I learned that place is even deadlier to creatures like us than you fleshies. And so I know it would have been suicidal for us to have come, but that was the first time y'all went somewhere without us.
It's true.
It was pretty
I'll-
scary, Dad.
I'll give you the full details later.
It's fine.
I'm gonna try enjoy this festival that you all put so much effort into.
Yeah.
Do you have a food stand you recommend?
Oh, I don't really eat that way.
You've enjoyed some of Thola's food, even if you don't necessarily need it.
Dad, we all just tell her we like it. We don't have taste buds. We literally have wooden tongues. They don't do It's not.
You know,
We know
I
it
don't-
makes her feel good, and it's
I don't
great.
think that ever came up.
And when she cooks the real good stuff that like everyone the boosts, like it's very good. But we, other than that, we go delicious. She's she's kind of like everyone's mom. She's like the shit mom, and like you just want her to feel like she's helping you.
You know, had you all mentioned something, she might have been able to make some kind of rejuvenating waters or something.
Dad, we're really, really connected to the most magical plant in all of Exandria.
Yeah, I guess you are. What did you call us? Fleshies? I guess that's not something I ever thought about.
I'll just messing with there's a lot more of us now. Gaius is
You'll
occupied most of the time with
Have you-
things.
I hope you've taken on some apprentices then. You were definitely good enough to start off on your own. Are you teaching your younger siblings? At least the ones that show interest.
He is if y'all invest in blacksmithing.
Fair enough. Oh, Christ. All right.
No, he is, but it wouldn't be
Yeah.
a change would occur through the
No, yeah.
yeah.
So with the promise to meet up later for further details of the adventure, I would just go back in and then make sure that, just looking around, not like grabbing some food and drink as I see it and whatnot, but just looking out for when Mal's speech is meant to occur.
Yeah. So I think time wise, I think we can finish up anything else. I think we're kind of get to the speech and main ceremony like right out of the gate next week. Kind of looking at how our things are working
Mhm.
here. But so you all have found the religious shop, as well as the magical animals and weapons and food. So I'll just let you know since we're kind of coming to this. There is vehicles and transportation, thieving supplies, and enchantments.
I'm just curious about some prices for a couple of the animals, real quick.
Yes.
First, the Tressum.
100 gold.
Okay. The Griffin and the Pegasus.
Okay. So let me go here.
I'm not interested in prices of animals, but I am interested in a certain person who hasn't sent me a mini.
Who's that?
Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong. I'm on my wrong list. I was looking at my regular animals. I need my magical animals. That was my problem. Okay. Here we go. Magic creatures. Cool. So we're looking at Griffin
And Pegasus.
and Pegasus. Griffin is 900 gold,
Okay.
and Pegasus is 1250.
Mm,
Yeah.
How much do I have in my stores?
In the
Well,
books.
Or anybody
You
that's
won't-
looking?
You won't believe me. You ready for this?
It's like more than 20,000.
I'll warn you and say you never spent anything. It's 20,982 gold.
Okay. So plenty to cover. We're basically just about whatever I want.
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be
I want to get the Tressum and the Pegasus.
He's like, I want them all.
He wants them both.
Yeah.
Hey, why not, right?
Absolutely.
You better buy feed for those also.
Yeah, and the saddle for Pegasus.
I guess while you're in the sheet there, how much is the unicorn and the stag?
Yep. Is that the golden stag?
Yes. Golden stag.
Golden stag is 800 gold. And the unicorn is 3,000 gold.
Golden stag. Honestly, we'll probably buy both of those, but I won't worry about it until the end of the night. I'll just send it to you. So I get into it now. I'm going to be looking at what they do and all this shit, and I just can't get it.
So I'm taking 3,800 off of Thola's account.
Yeah.
And then what was the total for Simon? 100 plus.
Um, 100 plus. I think you got the Griffin, so that would be 1,000 gold.
Okay.
And
So
then,
Pegasus.
sorry, Pegasus. My bad. Pegasus was
1250, right?
Yeah, 1250. So that would be 1350. Plus, you would have had to get the exotic saddle for 60 gold.
Well, I may or may not ride the unicorn, so I'll take a saddle if need be. I really want to ride free.
Got it. Okay, so the unicorn is untamed.
Ooh, I'll have to tame her. I'm gonna actually need my dad's help with something.
The Pegasus is suitable to be a mount out of the gate.
Nice.
See, the main reason why I wanted to get the Tressum is because I've got the mini. I've got the mini somewhere. I'm just looking through them, trying to find it now.
Yeah. And the Tressum is tamed, domesticated as well. Okay, very cool. Yes, I like the space hamster. It looks normal, but it is from space. So it is the miniature giant space hamster.
Oh,
It's like Minsk and Boo.
All right, then anything else? Anything? All right. Then we will go. We're going to end for tonight, and we will pick up with the kind of festival ceremonies in the evening, the grand feasts, and all those such things.
yay!
Then, got a lot of fun stuff So we'll see y'all then. All right, everyone. Those of you who are watching, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.